Patents, Pixels, and Pirates here on WSGF News.
Welcome, guys. I am Chris, also known as Peanut.
And I'm Simon, and this is episode 22.
Yay.
22 of WSGF News.
Yep.
So before we get into anything else, let's talk about this press release that was announced the other day. So I think you know more than I do about this.
Yeah, so Matrox just announced that it shows AMD GPU for its next generation multi-display graphics cards.
So for people that don't know what Matrox is, it's kind of like the people that were doing multi-monitor before all the Eyefinity and surround.
Yeah, I remember when Triple Head Go first came out. That was like my first dabble in multi-monitor experiences was the Triple Head Go. And so they make a couple of different products, but mainly they make a dual head to go, which gives you 2 monitors. Triple head to go gives you 3 monitors.
And it's an adapter that hooks up to a one display port or one display output,
right,
and splits it into 2.
Exactly,
so or 3 in
exactly.
the case of the triple head to go.
And the computer basically interprets that as one monitor, sees it as one monitor.
So they're kind of coming back.
They're coming back, which is great. Again, competition in the marketplace, always a welcome sight. And they're teaming up with AMD for their next generation hardware, whatever they're going to make.
So they'll be using whatever AMD hardware and kind of doing the whole sort of thing again.
Yep.
And the triple head, was it dual head to go?
Dual head to go, yeah.
Those, I mean, as I remember, they're more like enterprise sort of things. Like
they were like productivity kind of things.
They're sort of based around that. I mean, people did use them.
They worked for gaming, but
for that time, that being the only thing that was out, that was really all you could do. But I assume they're going to do enterprising sort of situation again. And we've actually reached out to people at Matrox, horrible pronouncing, Matrox and AMD. And when we get some more information about it, we'll let you know. But I mean, I assume that it'll be enterprise again, and it'll maybe use some sort of enterprise technology.
Who knows? We may have some applications that we can use for gaming, or we'll have to see. So it's definitely exciting to see. I'm interested to think about it. Will there be, if it is gaming related, will it tie into AMD's FreeSync? Will it have any kind of? Will they use that kind of thing? But anyways, like Simon said, we'll keep you guys posted on this more as we hear more information. So speaking of graphics companies, we're going to talk about some patent issues happening with Nvidia. And this is more, really, it's smartphone kind of news, but it does involve Nvidia, which is a major graphics card company, of course. So they issued a press release on their blog basically saying that they're, for the first time since starting this company 21 years ago, we have initiated a patent lawsuit. Essentially, what their argument is that they have been on the defense side of many patents in the past, but this is the first time they're actively seeking out and suing someone else. And they're upset with Samsung and some of the mobile devices that Samsung has put out, and specifically the graphics cards in these mobile devices. And one of their arguments is that they have an agreement with Intel. Intel pays a licensing fee for the mobile and other devices that they use that uses technology, and it's been totally fine. Why isn't Samsung doing the same? Exactly. So I don't know what you think about this, but it's kind of, I feel like in general, patenting stuff like this is kind of just, I think the patent system is designed for something else. It's kind of an old legacy. It started out as one thing. And now it's being used as something else. So I stayed up, because I remember you sent this link to me, and I stayed up all night reading every patent that's part of this patent lawsuit. So read all of it, read all the supplementary kind of images and paperwork that came along with those patents, and really just flow charts is what it looked like. It was like, this device does this, flows into this, does this, kind of yes, no sort of situation. Now, I always felt, kind of like you, patents are more of a, this is how you make something, and the process of making this device is patented, and so you can't do it. And that's what I always felt patents are supposed to be used for. And it seems, and this is going to go on to kind of a rant almost, on patents and technology. It seems patents now
are kind of used for the general idea of, I think this would work this way, this way, this way, and the process of doing it as vague as possible is patented.
Sure. I don't, I feel like Nvidia, them saying that, this is the first time we've ever sued anyone in the history of our company, maybe that speaks to some kind of character that they feel like they really have a case here, and maybe they'll win.
I also think, there's been a precedent set with Nvidia with these patents.
Sure.
They said that Intel is doing it. I think Apple as well.
Yeah.
And so there's a precedent of, look, people are doing this. So maybe they are in the right for this. And it's just the way patents are done right now, that just the way they're done.
And yeah, that's true. But, to go back to what you were saying about the patent system needs to be redone, just because these guys are paying it doesn't mean it right. Maybe we had to think about the whole concept of what should we be able to patent and what should we not.
And that's been a big argument for the patent system lately, is it doesn't work a lot with the current technology we have right now.
Because, I mean, the system was designed before the internet or computers were ever even a thought in someone's head, right? So we have a system in place that was designed a long, long time ago.
I actually looked up the first patent, and I think it was like John Reese or something like that. But it was an actual diagram of like a wheel, I think it was like a treaded wheel or something like that, and how the gears work.
Wheel.
And it was just an image of like how the gears interlined and everything like that. And so you could build it using that image, like, oh, okay, I see how that interlocks and that interlocks, and the simple machines increase the energy workout and blah blah blah.
So again, this isn't about graphics technology for PC gaming, but it is related to Nvidia, and it is probably a multi-million or billion-dollar lawsuit.
Definitely.
And it does, affect mobile gaming, I guess. So, anyways, we will follow this news article as more stuff develops. I'm sure this is going to be a long, drawn-out, bloody battle. I'm sure someone's going to countersue someone, and then back and forth. So yeah, we'll keep you guys posted more. So Pixels.
A lot of them.
A lot of them. So this is a 5120 by 2880 UHD monitor from Dell, 27 inches, coming out at 218 PPI and 14.7 million pixels.
Lots of pixels.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a great screen.
Holy moly!
It's being classified as a 5K monitor. So
exactly. They're basically saying two 2560 by 2880 monitors jammed together.
Now the pixel aspect ratio is going to be 16 by 9, which we calculated earlier. They announced this on, I guess it was the Workforce live stream.
Yes.
So I assume it's supposed to be oriented towards work.
Yeah, more productivity probably. I wonder what the frame rate is. I wonder if it's probably like 30 frames.
I know it was that first Dell that we messed around with, that 4K monitor.
Was only 30 frames per second. Yeah, it's probably. I'm assuming it doesn't have the frame rate in here. It's probably a low frame rate. And again, you're right. It was announced during the Workforce live stream, so it was probably for productivity. But it's interesting to see how crazy these displays are really pushed. I mean, this is a 5K monitor, 27 inches, like I said, 218 PPI, 14 million pixels. I like the graph that we're reading this article off Anatech, and I really like the they've got like the top rated PPI displays, and it's like number 10 on the most dense pixel rated things, which is ridiculous. I mean, this thing is a beast.
So ideally, I think this is going to be a Workforce kind of monitor.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe like if you're a stock guy and need all the stock tickers or something where you're having to analyze.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't see this too much as a gaming monitor.
No. I mean, pushing that amount of pixels is going to be hard.
I mean, 4K, we were struggling with that. We had that R9 290 is what we used with that 4K, and we were struggling there. I mean, 5K, add another 1,000 pixels.
Another thing about just productivity-wise with this monitor is, once you get this really, really high resolution, the text and everything starts getting really, really small.
Yeah.
I mean, you can up the DPI and get it back and make it big.
Then what's the point, I think, at that point?
Yeah, I mean, you don't get the real estate, and I don't know, it's just... I would have to see it in person, I think.
Yeah, but I feel like with this 5K, now they're like pushing it and it's over the line. You know, we're still like, oh, 4K, this is cool.
We're still trying to wrap our heads around getting.
But you know, there's not a lot of things coming out for 4K that really, really super optimizes it. Except maybe movies. And then you want to push it just a little bit more. I'm all for pushing the technology, but not a lot, I think.
I understand what you're saying. I mean, this is definitely pushing it, but in terms of like gaming performance and like using it, it's probably not promising. But it does mean that this is one step towards another crazy monitor, maybe that will be a gaming monitor down the road.
Now it's going to be really cool. You know, speaking of monitors from Dell, they're coming out with that new 21:9 curved display.
Yes, that looks really cool.
I want one.
Yeah,
yes, please.
21:9. We've talked about it like probably 10 times on this show. Is
it's the sweet spot. You know,
it's really good.
It's ultra wide, but it's the same pixel density as your 1080p monitor, your 1920 by 1080p, 16:9 ratio.
And the curved, I think the curved displays do actually add something when you're sitting that close. You know, I wasn't a fan of the curved displays for like televisions, but actually when you do sit that close, the curved display kind of does add that little bit of wraparound version.
I think too, curved displays with like an Eyefinity or surround system, it's going to have that natural curve to it. So instead of having that flat angledness, which kind of sometimes can ruin the experience, I think having that curve that comes around a little bit is going to give more of an immersion.
Definitely, I agree.
But Dell has that 21:9. LG's coming out with was it a 4K or a 21:9?
I think it was a 21:9.
But and that's going to be great too. I mean, and it's curved display as well. So there's a lot of cool monitor stuff coming out.
Yes.
This 5K, I think it's kind of jumping the gun. That's my opinion.
I think they're just throwing pixels at the screen and
you get pixels and you get pixels. Everyone gets pixels. Yeah, that's probably what they're doing. Yeah. But I mean, that's good. You push the the peripheral sides. That way, the hardware side has to push more.
Okay, it has to catch up. Yeah, agreed. Okay, so The Sims 4. This is our Piracy, right?
Yar, we be talking about pirates.
Piracy. So this is really funny. In the new Sims 4, if you have a pirated copy of it, everything looks pixelated.
Yeah, so they have this really, really cool DRM that kind of just messes up the game.
And the funny thing is that they've got pirates that are posting on the official forums asking for help. Like, hey, my game's messed up, can you help me out?
Pixelate it.
And it's not an automated, but it's a response from EA, and they're basically like saying, yes, the fix is buy the game.
It's ridiculous. This is how you do DRM.
Oh, sure.
I don't like this always on sort of situation because sometimes you can't be next to a internet connection.
Sure.
I think the newest SimCity had that. You had to always be on. And I think there's a couple patches now that fix that. But it's a hassle. You're draining on your internet connection, and there's no reason to, just because I want to play like a single player game.
Sure.
So this is a great way to do DRM. We've seen great DRM.
Before. We've seen some developers who get really creative with their
Gary's mod. It was like a rendering situation where it wouldn't render everything, which was funny. I think my favorite is Serious Sam 3 BFE, is where I think it's like the second or third level. One of the Scorpion guys, I forget what they're called, that has the chain gun on it. It is an unbeatable. And so it'll just follow you around, and you just shoot. It doesn't matter what you shoot. You can even go in like cheating mode and go God mode or whatever, and have every weapon and try and kill it, and it never dies. That's how you do DRM.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like there was I remember playing Earthbound, and if you had a pirated copy of that, at the final boss, it would crash the game and delete your save, which would basically,
restart.
Yeah, you'd lose everything, and that's after playing the whole game, right? You wouldn't defeat the boss. I think you're right. Getting creative with these DRM tools to prevent people from playing the game, like the always online stuff, is not the way to go. Like there's tons of games that do that, and stuff like this is actually creative, fun.
Yeah.
Probably easier to implement. It's got to be way easier to implement, and it actually probably is fairly effective because you can actually tell that hey, you're a pirate.
Yeah, especially if you're complaining on a forum.
Yeah.
Now, the argument for piracy, I guess we should kind of talk about this. The argument for piracy is, I want to check it. I want to test it. I think we talked about a little bit of this last time or a couple times ago, where it's like I can pirate the game so I can test it and demo it. Well, I mean, with EA, we know they have game time now. I think right now Titanfall either was in game time a second time or just came off a second time.
Yeah,
but
so
we know Sims 4 is going to go on game time pretty soon, because right after Titanfall came out, a couple of weeks or a month or so later, it went on game time, and it probably boosted sales again because people could try the game.
Yeah, they
could
play the game, and then if you want to keep playing, did you like it? Pay for it.
They even did that recently with Battlefield 4, and I think I talked about how I bought it and how great the community customer service was for that. But I'm pretty sure Battlefield 4 sales went up when they did the game time for that.
Definitely.
So there's no reason now, I don't think, for piracy, because you can do these demos and tests, especially with EA.
I think the thing that as a developer, what you want to do, your goal should be, is how can I make a product that's better than the downloaded copy?
Yeah.
What can I offer?
I feel like...
not what can I take away. What can I offer?
I feel like Valve and Gabe Newell, from Valve, have talked about that. It's like, why is Steam working? Because we can give a product that is better than what the pirates are giving.
Exactly. I think you offer services, you offer timely updates, patches, you offer in-game items, you offer a value product. You don't. It's $60 versus $15 or $20. Do you put it on sale? The way you market it. There's lots of different tactics and tools that you can use to make the customer feel like their $15 or $10 or $20 or $30 or whatever is going towards an actual value product, and they feel satisfied, versus initially treating you like a criminal right out of the box. You got to log in 50 times, and you got to connect to the internet, and you got to do this and they got to do that. So I do think EA doesn't have the best track record.
Yeah.
But I do think this is a good example of DRM done right. I
think if they continue down this road,
and I agree,
they're going to fix a lot of their kind of publicity.
Sure.
Image.
And I think you're right. If they put this on game time, you will see a spike in sales and definitely a decrease in pirates. I think you're absolutely right.
Now we just got to get rid of them doing that outrageous DLC. And
almost there.
We're almost there, EA. You've almost got it. I'm so excited for you. So we're putting my rig under the microscope this time.
Yes.
So Battlestations is all about me today. We're looking at my rig.
Yeah, so Simon was nice enough to post his Battlestation. Awesome. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, do you want to tell us a little bit about your system? It looks like you've got a glass desk.
Yeah, so I got one of these like
IKEA
see-through desks,
Very
corner
nice.
desk. Real nice desk. I'm rocking the WSGF stand.
Yes.
I got a 3x1.
And you got your WSGF background, which is nice.
Yeah, everyone needs a WSGF background. I'm working on a mouse pad right now. That's going to be my next thing. But, there's not much to it. I got the Oculus Rift, which is WSGF.
I saw that.
It's a Corsair 800D case. It's that solid steel with the aluminum brush front. Real nice. I also have, this rig can go up to 5x1. I was actually gaming, and I typically like to do Battlefield gaming with 3x1, just to have the wider view.
Less bezels.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And I was like, I should just take a picture, because it was late at night. Actually, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and you can tell my camera taking a picture of the clock. But
the time.
So I was like, it's the 3x1. We'll take some pictures. I've got a Plantronics Gamecom 70-something 7x1 surround sound headphones, which I got a couple years ago from Plantronics. I won some seats at QuakeCon. My first year I went to QuakeCon. You actually can see my QuakeCon sticker. I was real proud of that. That's staying on there forever and ever. But yeah, it's a nice little rig, water-cooled, custom loop. Right now it's a 7800 series AMD card in there. But yeah, nice little rig. I just figured, we pester people all the time about posting the rigs. One of us should post it.
Put our money
where our mouth is, sort of thing.
So that puts the pressure on me. I have to do mine next.
But I can't say how great those Ergotech monitors, whether it's stands, whether it's like our WSGF or the XFX stand uses Ergotech parts too.
Yes.
And all that cable management, man. This is when I bought this from Skip. This is my diving into cable management, and it's so great, those clips.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
really
stands make
up.
a night and day difference.
And especially when you have like
it's ridiculous.
4 monitors on your desk, and you just have this, you know, just no.
There's wires everywhere.
Because it's 2 wires per monitor, plus your mouse, plus your keyboard, plus with me I have a webcam. I have a Leap, the Leap Motions up there. I mean, so I have so many stuff. Yeah, there's my rig. Once again, you know, post your rig. We love to see rigs.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure you post your Battlestation. We actually have our own special forum now on the WSGF forums.
You know, it's home general Battlestations.
Yep. So go in there, create a new thread, tell us about your Battlestation, take some pictures, and we'll talk about it on the show.
Yeah. So speaking of those WSGF stands, if you remember, I guess a month ago almost, we did a WSGF survey on the stands. So if you had a stand or were interested in a stand, was taking opinions about what you liked, what you didn't like, what you were looking at getting in the future, what you have, what you wanted.
I took my survey.
And we've looked at it. We're not going to say anything specific about what we're doing, but we've read and we've looked at your comments and concerns. First of all, if you still haven't done it, go ahead and do it, because we still want to hear from you.
We definitely need the information from the survey to kind of get a feel of what people are looking for and what people need.
But I mean, we've looked at some of the comments and concerns you've had with the monitor stand, and we're actually testing a couple things. We're not going to say what we're testing, but we're trying to see how we can solve some of the things that you're dealing with.
Sure.
And some news on that will come out hopefully in the next couple of weeks. There's going to be a couple announcements that we're going to make. I was talking with Skip about it earlier. But do the survey, check around, wait around, and see what we'll bring out. Also, speaking of Skip, he recently did a kind of a CPU, GPU shootout.
Yeah, the shootout, if you go to the site, it's one of the very top news articles. Skip did a lot of work investing in this, a lot.
I think it totaled up to like 180 different combinations or something like that.
Yeah, he really tested almost every different kind of CPU. Anyone who's looking at building a new system, I highly recommend you go and look at the graphs and the article. I mean, it's
because like price per power is really interesting. The best of everything doesn't necessarily give you the greatest increase.
Right, which is not intuitive when you think about it, you know.
Usually it's like, you know, like the thought you would have is like, oh, I need the latest and greatest. It's like, well, you can save $100, get this CPU, and it gives you the exact same results on frames per second or anything.
So if you're looking at building a PC, a budget PC, and even if you're not looking at a budget PC, it kind of doesn't make any sense to spend any extra money when you don't need to.
I mean, you could shave off, I think one thing he brings up is shave off money buying a certain combination, put it like an SSD.
Yeah, exactly. You can take that money and use it on a different peripheral that is going to provide you a lot more benefit than, you know, whatever you were originally going to get. So definitely check that out. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube, and follow us on Twitter.
Yep.
I am at Computer Lasco.
I am at The Destroyer FTW, and the main Twitter is at WSGF. Thank you again for watching and tuning in. We are WSGF. This is episode 22.
Do your DRs.
Do your DRs.
Like always.
Do your DRs. I posted Mighty Number 9 actually the other day.
Which I'm actually looking for very
I got some access to it. I was sitting at a computer and a buddy of mine logged on, and I was like, hey, can I do this real quick? And I had like 30 minutes to do it, and I was like, play through a level of it. I'll maybe do, I guess when it comes out, I'll do an official review.
Cool.
But I mean, all the results were what I figured on a 2D side scroller like that. But yeah, do your DRs so we can see information like that. Also, post your battle stations like we always do. And
see you next week, guys.